If you'll call the roll.
Yes, sir. Ross?
Here.
White?
Here.
Taylor is absent. Robinson?
Here.
Baxter?
Here.
Harris?
Here.
Gann?
Here.
And Height will be absent. A quorum is present, sir.
Thank you very much. I invite you to rise for the prayer and the pledge to be led by Council Member Ross.
Let's bow our heads, please. Our Heavenly Father, thank you for always watching over North Little Rock, and especially during the recent flooding. The change in the predicted rain saved many homes and businesses from further damage. Please be with all our residents, business owners, and all of our city employees as cleanup begins. And thank you for placing upon so many hearts to volunteer in so many ways. North Little Rock could not have accomplished as much as we did without them. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So moved. Second.
On the motion.
On the motion to approve the minutes from the previous meeting, Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
And Gann?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Let's go right into special calls, and we got two.
Yes, sir. The first one is R19-108.
Please call it.
This is from an email from, actually,
Is your mic on?
yeah, it's on. It's red.
Okay, it's ready to go.
If I need to speak louder?
A little bit.
Okay. Brace yourself. Amy Fields, City Attorney. This is an email that she sent out on Thursday, June the 6th. It is to honorable members of the North Little Rock City Council. The purpose of this email is to advise you that Mayor Smith has called a special meeting of the North Little Rock City Council at 6:05 p.m. on Monday, June 10, 2019 at City Hall Council Chambers. The following will be on the agenda. R19-108, authorizing the limited waiver of permit fees, plans review fees, and inspection fees for victims of the May-June 2019 flood. The sponsor is Mayor Joe A. Smith. This was sent out pursuant to North Little Rock Ordinance 9079, which entitles 72 hours of notice, and it was sent to all council members.
Got a motion. How about a second?
Second.
On the motion.
On the motion to adopt, Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
And Gann?
Yes.
R19-109 is also a special call.
Please call it.
This is an email that was sent out from City Attorney Amy Fields on Friday, June the 7th, to council members, honorable members of the North Little Rock City Council. The purpose of this email is to advise you that Mayor Smith has called a special meeting of the North Little Rock City Council at 6:05 p.m. on Monday, June 10, 2019 at City Hall Council Chambers. Following will be on the agenda, R19-109, accepting the proposal of Crowder Gulf for a pre-event contract for disaster recovery assistance, authorizing the mayor and city clerk to enter into a pre-event contract sponsored by Mayor Smith. This was sent out pursuant to North Little Rock Ordinance 9079, and all council members were notified.
Move for adoption.
Second. On the motion.
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
And Gann?
Yes.
Thank you very much. I'm going to jump around a little bit tonight. Let's do communications real quickly. I'm showing 3. Anybody want to pull communication? How about a motion?
To accept the file 1 through 3.
On the motion.
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
And Gann?
Yes.
Okay, we've got several people signed up for public comments. We usually have at the end. I'm going to go ahead and call it on the front end. So we could keep your comments to 3 minutes. First, I've got Gene Pfeiffer. Mr. Pfeiffer.
Thank you for this accommodation. Mayor, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to thank you for running a city that is a great place in which to do business. North Shore Business Park had tremendous support during this recent flood event. Chief Bradley was available to me for anything that I might have needed to know about the city's expectations for flood levels. And City Engineer Chris Wilburn made several trips to the business park to inspect flood levels, to look at our pad-mounted transformers that might have been threatened, and to counsel with me about the possibilities of any sewage backup, which I might talk to you about in just a second. Michael Clayton and the sewer department, we did have the lift station at White Oak Bio was shut down for just a few hours, and his crew got out there and fixed it and remained on site 24/7 for the duration of the event, and there was never any possibility of a sewage backup. We had a rumor of the single energy substation that serves the business park being shut down for flooding. I recall that Alderman Harris used to work for Energy. I got in touch with him. He got me with the proper people at Energy, and we put that rumor to rest very quickly. Thank you, Ron. And finally, Chief Davis, realizing that we were going to be inundated with gawkers and sightseers over the weekend, sent a police presence which made sure that gawking and sightseeing was the only thing that took place. All of this support has been passed on to the 40 businesses at the park and anybody else who would listen to me over the past few days. Thank you for running a great city in which to do business.
Thank you, Gene, very much. We got to take care of our people that give our people jobs. And the scary thing out there to me was the wastewater issue, and it was off for more than a couple hours. It was off for almost a day. So I was panicking on that. But thank goodness for Michael Clayton and his ingenuity, and we got it fixed. It won't happen again, I promise you. Thank you. Next is John Santoro. John.
Evening, Council. John Santoro, President of Willow Beach Property Owners. Here to do the same thing. Thank you. We was going to try to do this in different ways, and I just talked to Jake a while ago about it. To get their thank yous out, it's a hard way to do it, but I figured the best way to do is come to council meeting and let you know personally how much we appreciate it. The Chief Davis and the police force were exceptionally cordial and professional. We appreciate them and their presence there and everything they did. Also, all the city workers that came out and helped bag, and on their very, very hot days, they helped bag and they helped the sand trucks when they came. You guys brought the sand truck. We so much appreciate that, and we want you to know we're thankful for that. And also Patrick Lane, Scott Springer, and Steve Shields. And I think Steve Shields got baptized on this job right away. But he's, as a new man on, I think we all learned a lot. This is something bigger than we've ever seen. I know since I've been around, and I think a lot of you can say the same thing. It's bigger than we've seen, and I think we learned a lot. We grew a lot, and I think we know what to do next time, hopefully. Hopefully there's not another time. But I just want to say thank you so much for allowing the guys to work overtime, and thank you for them working overtime. And they did work, and we appreciate everything. And I promise you, I told Chief, I said, we fed them well, so don't do no surprise physical, because we fed them well, and we want them to know that we appreciate them and everything they did. And thank you, Mayor, for allowing them to do it, sending them out there. Just an issue on the Colonel Manor. I don't represent them, but they did call me, ask me that I know some people. But code is apparently is asking them about they have to be up to code on their electric. A couple of them have already had professionals, electricians, and if it wasn't, they wouldn't put their life at risk and be bonded, saying they are perfectly okay. So I would appreciate if you might do an individual basis instead of a broad statement, and make sure that not everyone, because a lot of them didn't have insurance, and they're already out, what they're having to put out, now another $5,000 to get their code up, electricity up to code. So if you could, just do a base by base and make sure, and I totally get it that they need to be up to code. I'm not here asking for anything that don't need to be, but just make sure we can do it maybe on a base by base situation and check it individually. That way, not every one of them are out that $5,000 or whatever it's going to cost to get them up to code. Because, like I said, the professional electricians already looked at it and said they're perfectly fine. And I promise you, he's not going to put his neck out there if it wasn't. So, but I appreciate it. And thank you guys again. And everybody that support us, we want you to know. Thank you so much.
Thank you, John. It was quite a disaster out there, and our people did work terribly hard. Lee Jeffrey.
I'm Lee Jeffrey with the Dixie CDC, and we certainly want to thank Mayor, City of North Little Rock, aldermen, and all of the city employees that came to our rescue out there in Dixie community. If it had not been for you all and all the volunteers, it's no telling how high the water would have been out there in Dixie. I know we could not stop a flood, but we was able to slow the flood. And there's still a lot of work to be done in our relief efforts. But just want to make sure that we thank all of the representatives, also state representatives. And Mayor was fortunate enough to bring the great governor of Arkansas out there to the little old Dixie. Thank you for that. And make sure you let the mayor know so he can watch my pocketbook.
Absolutely.
But we want to thank all of you all. Alderman Robertson was there every day, and I understand that she and Maurice had to split their efforts to cover Ward 2. But without all those great volunteers, you know, they was excellent. And we had food and water to cover every day to take care of them. We had one of the church pastors, a representative, I don't know what his...
Carlton Wing.
He wanted a special request and asked that could we make sure the next day we had some watermelons out there for him. So I got up that morning and I went to a couple of vendors and no problem, and they had watermelon all day. But thank you, Mayor Smith and your staff, city employees, and all concerned that worked tireless out there in Dixie Edition for 9 days.
Thank you, Lee, very much. Okay, that completes the public comment section. Now we've got comments on legislation. We've got 4. One is really wants to speak. The others are here for answering questions. James, 7411 Laurel Ridge. James, just FYI, you have 3 minutes, of course, but Council Member Harris is going to pull that legislation. He's going to withdraw it off the agenda tonight, so feel free to speak.
Just one quick question about that. When you say you're pulling it, does that mean it's off the table until next year, or it's not going to be up for conversation again?
It's off the agenda for now, and he will have to refile it at a later date if he chose to come back. Okay. Now, I think I'm going to sit down with the owners of the property myself and explain my feelings on it, so I think I might be able to make this go away until they can get a buyer and tell us what's going to go there.
Okay, I appreciate that information from the council and from you, Mayor. Then I'll cut this short, and I'm going to go right to my ending quote. Most of the data has already been given to you guys, but to let you know, the ultimatum for us is not to put it on the table or get it postponed. We want it nipped in the bud, so to speak. We want our neighborhood to stay. We're not asking the city council to do anything for us other than leave the property for what it is zoned for. So let our community grow, let our city grow, let our neighborhood grow for what is intended for, which is residential use. The only question that I'm going to ask of the committee is, with all the commercial properties already available in Little Rock, North Little Rock, does the city of North Little Rock have such a major need for commercial property that they're willing to take one of North Little Rock's most prestigious, clean neighborhoods with some of the lowest crime rates and lowest 911 calls to the North Little Rock Police Department to make this a commercial property, to turn it into commercial property? And I'll ask that you take that under consideration. The neighborhood stands for itself, and you can do all your research on it. We are a strong neighborhood, we're a safe neighborhood, we're a clean neighborhood, and we want to be a growing neighborhood. The only way we can grow is if y'all allow us to keep the zoning as it is. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Whole business.
01967, so you're going to withdraw that?
No, withdraw that.
Okay. 01972, Councilmember Taylor.
Please call it.
An ordinance repealing ordinance number 9037 to revoke a special use for property located at 2001 Parker Street in the city of North Little Rock. Second reading.
You want to suspend the rules?
Move to suspend the rules, place on third reading.
On the motion.
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Again?
Yes.
You gonna read it third time?
Oh, yes, you caught me off guard. An ordinance repealing ordinance number 9037 to revoke a special use for property located at 2001 Parker Street in the city of North Little Rock. Third and final reading.
Motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
On the motion.
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Again?
Yes.
On the emergency, Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Again?
Yes.
Okay, new business, R19-105, Mayor Smith.
Please call it.
Hang on a second. A resolution confirming the reappointment of Eddie Powell to the Board of Commissioners of Central Arkansas Water.
Second.
On the motion.
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Again?
Yes.
David Johnson, counsel for CAW is here. David, thank you for being here tonight. We love Eddie Powell, and he is the godfather of CAW. We understand that, and we're glad he's able to serve. You bet. Thank you.
R19-106, Mayor Smith.
Please call it.
Resolution approving the 2019 Annual Action Plan for the City of North Little Rock, including the 45th year 2019 Community Development Block Grant, CDBG, and the 2019 Home Investment Partnerships Program, Home Projects and Budgets.
So move.
Second.
On the motion.
You need to convene a public hearing.
Okay. Convene a public hearing. Anybody here to speak on CDBG 2019 Home Investment Partnership Funds and the 45th year Community Development Block Grant? Seeing none, close the public hearing on the motion.
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Again?
Yes.
R19-107, Mayor Smith.
Please call it.
Resolution certifying the amount of a cleanup lien to be filed with Pulaski County Tax Collector against certain real property located at 3618 Gum Street in the city of North Little Rock.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Call a public hearing. Anyone here to speak on the cleanup liens for 3618 Gum Street? Seeing none, close the public hearing on the motion.
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Again?
Yes.
01974, Councilmember Taylor.
Please call it.
An ordinance granting a waiver of section 14.115 of the zoning ordinance to allow an electronic changeable copy sign on property located at 11601 Kennard Road in the city of North Little Rock. First reading.
Move to suspend all readings.
Second.
Got a motion to suspend all readings on the motion.
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Again?
Yes.
Motion.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Comments, questions on the motion?
On the motion to adopt, Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Again?
Yes.
On the emergency, Ross?
Yes.
White? An ordinance reclassifying property located at 500 North Magnolia Street in the city of North Little Rock from I-1 zoning classification to C6 zoning classification by amending ordinance number 7697, first reading.
Move to suspend all readings.
Second.
On the motion.
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Again?
Yes. Move to adopt.
Give me a second.
Second.
On the motion.
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Again?
Yes.
On the emergency, Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Again?
Yes.
01976, Councilmember Taylor.
Please call it.
An ordinance allowing a special use for multiple uses in a C6 zone for property located at 500 North Magnolia Street in the city of North Little Rock, first reading.
Move to suspend all readings.
Second.
On the motion.
Ross? White?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
And Gann?
Yes. Move to adopt.
Second.
On it, Ms. Ross?
I know at the plan, this came up, the planning, this was for a special use, and this is just for in a C6 now. So just some questions that came up when it was at planning, was the parking inside, and I see that it says commercial vehicles parked inside of the, is there someone here that can kind of explain to us what?
Someone here? Is that your name? Someone here? No, I'm talking to you, Sean.
No.
Tell us what you're doing here.
Oh, the applicant's here if you wanted to.
Yes,
Oh, right,
absolutely,
yeah.
really.
Come on up.
George Collins, the owner of 500 Magnolia.
So can you tell us about a little bit of what? is
Okay,
going
I
on?
operated a landscape company out of the property, and I'm trying to retire. I'm bike riding most all the time now. And so I stored my backhoe and my truck and trailer in there. And then Cherie Young is wanting to lease the property for axe throwing. There's 2 in Northwest Arkansas and Rogers already, and she wants to rent that. I just didn't want to lose going down from Industrial 1. I have some neighbors not real happy, but anyway, it's going to break up that block. I just wanted to not lose that in case I get bored and want to go back into the landscape.
Okay. Is it Ms. Young? Could she,
Ms. Young
Yes.
is here.
that's who we want to ask the questions. I know during the planning there was discussion about, parking, and you were going to have some outside tables, and is that still, or can you kind of explain what you're going to do then?
With the outside space, we're hoping to have outside seating and tables, but we're still working on the details for parking. I know we had city engineering, George. Okay, so we're going to look at using the space around the building for parking.
'Cause was that one of the things, the parking, there was no parking for the actual business?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and so that hasn't been worked out yet, though?
By rezoning the C6, there's no parking requirements for C6.
So that takes
So
care of it?
that eliminated the parking issues, so she could use the outdoor area for tables and whatever, outdoor activities.
All right, so will the outdoor, will that remain gravel then?
Yes.
It will remain gravel? Okay. Now, will alcoholic beverages be served out there, outside?
Not at this time.
Not this time, okay.
Well, tell me again now what it's going to be?
It's going to be a recreational axe throwing facility.
Come to the mic.
I'm sorry, excuse me. Recreational axe throwing?
Oh, axe throwing. Okay, I remember now.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay.
So of all the issues in planning, at the planning commission meeting, I know there were several. So have all of those been resolved, Sean, by changing it to C6?
Yes, the C6 solved the issue, and so he was willing. There was some issues going back and forth on was he wanting to do it and still be allowed if he wanted to go back to landscape business at that location. So this still allows that to happen.
So they're allowed to have the gravel then?
Yes.
I mean, there's no problem there within the
Correct,
C6?
yeah. So at the moment, they're not parking on it, so it's not an issue.
But if they do, then they'll have to pave it if they do decide to park?
It's an existing situation, so
Okay.
it would stay the same as it is now.
Okay.
Ms. White?
I too saw it on the planning, the video of that. What is then the purpose for the outdoor seating? Obviously, people aren't going to have access outside, correct?
Yes.
No. What are they going to do outside?
Well, thinking long-term, if we have maybe some food, prepared, there's not a kitchen there, so I'm not looking to cook there, but I may have, people can rent the facility for parties, for all type of birthdays, different events, and so that gives them seating outside. And then Argenta is a very walkable community, and so it just draws people in. It's consistent, I think, with what they're doing in the community.
Ms. Robbins?
Sean, we're not talking about an event center.
No, it would be to rent the place out to have a party to throw axes.
The
Like a
party
birthday
is,
party, yeah. So
is
you-
only
they
for
rent
the,
whole. Yeah,
only for the axes.
correct.
Is-
Yeah. So
Nothing
you rent the
else.
whole facility out for a birthday party, I guess, or some sort of a party.
It's only for the customers that are doing the
Axe throwing.
axe.
Yes.
It's not an event center where she rents it out for a birthday party or anything like that. It's only for
No.
the customers.
Correct.
Okay.
What about the hours?
Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 11 p.m., Sunday, 12 to 8.
Okay. Ms. Ross?
So will there be alcohol served inside the facility?
No.
So,
Right now, I'm working with the insurance company, and I'm going to say no to the alcohol at this time because the insurance, it's a whole different ballgame. Even though there are facilities around the nation that have that as an option, that's not what I'm looking at.
so when you said food, are you looking at the option of maybe having a food truck there? You know, I know some areas don't have a food truck, or is that?
That's one of the things I considered, and also, you can go buy, there's several, and George and I have talked about this, you might be the best one to answer this question, but there are restaurants that have like finger foods that you can essentially get from like Sam's or have a caterer come in, that type of thing.
So would you be selling that food?
At this time, I'm just focusing on axe throwing, and so that's, but yeah, long-term, that is a possibility.
Okay, so then you would need to get your permit, then
Right.
your A&P permit to sell
Well,
it.
If we go-
actually-
We're starting as simple as possible, and the focus is just axe
So
throwing.
you won't be selling any food at this time then?
No.
correct?
At the
Okay.
point
Nope.
that she buys, say, the chicken tenders from Sam's and heats them up, that's become a prepared food, and you're going to have to get a restaurant license and a health inspection.
Okay. And that's good to know, because I'm really trying to keep this as simple as possible and focus on the main thing, and that's recreational axe throwing.
That's why I was thinking food truck would be.
Yeah, we talked about food trucks at the very beginning, and so getting the zoning appropriate for that is what we've been working on. That was the original goal.
I have one. So no alcohol sold. Can people bring their own alcohol in?
At this time, I'm not looking to do that.
Can they?
No, they're not going to be permitted to do it because of the insurance. That's a whole nother ballgame. But if that becomes something that customers request, then I'll come back to the city and see what I need to do for that. But right now, I'm just focusing on the recreational axe throwing, the entertainment.
Thank you.
But a lot of facilities are.
Well, we have concern about alcohol.
Yes.
And axe throwing.
Yes, ma'am.
I just
I do
want to
too.
let you know ahead of time.
Yeah.
You know, they have a women's senior league, Linda. I think maybe you and Beth maybe could sign up. And Debbie, yeah. Okay, any more questions of the applicant? Where are we, Ms. Whitby?
There's a motion and a second to adopt.
On,
I have one more
all
question.
right,
This is for Sean.
Sean?
I knew you tried to sneak up. Okay, since this has not gone to planning, have you had any comments or anything from the neighborhood or any neighbors or?
The special use did go through planning and got approved.
Right.
The rezoning did not, so that was, we did notice and sign and
And so you haven't
everything.
heard anything on
Zero
the
zero
zone?
response on that.
Okay, that's what I was
The
wondering.
notice was done properly and everything.
It's a down zone, so I wouldn't see it. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be going down and then.
Sure. I was just curious if anyone has commented.
On the motion?
On the motion to adopt, Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Ginn?
Yes.
On the emergency, Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
And Ginn?
Yes.
Thank you very much. I'm gonna, when y'all are through, I'm gonna do just a little bit of an update on where we are flood-wise. So any council members have anything? Ms. Ross?
I just want to wish Councilmember Baxter a happy birthday. Today is his birthday.
Well,
He's
happy
getting to
birthday,
celebrate with us
Steve.
tonight. Aw.
Anybody else? All right, let me go down the list for just potpourri of items. I want to echo, number one, what everybody said about our employees, over the top. I mean, unbelievable, over the top, and I'm very, very proud of them. And we're working on things to do special for them, probably maybe bring back in 2 weeks. We have, next week, at the end of next week, we're going to have an after-action meeting, basically where we'll sit down and talk about the things that went right, what went wrong, and then we'll come back probably in about 6 weeks and do another one. We'll try to keep you guys posted on that, on what we come up with and what we see, on how we can make things better if it happens again. To give you an update on some things that are coming, number one, the Dickey Stevens Field took a pretty good hit. There's two large sinkholes, one big enough to put a small car in, and so our fix from 3 years ago with this record flood came back. So we are going to have to work on that, and that's going to be pretty expensive. I met with James Lee Witt today, who used to be the director of FEMA. It's his opinion that the ball field will be covered under FEMA because we own it. So we'll certainly be claiming that damage. Next, last week or 10 days ago, when we got into critical time, we declared an emergency, and we reached out and brought in pumps and generators. Scott brought in generators in the event that power went down and we couldn't power the pumps. Those all were more than $20,000. I approved them. We'll be coming back in with legislation, hopefully in 2 weeks, that will ask you for permission for what I declared an emergency to do during the flood. So that's coming. We anticipate that North Hills Boulevard will be open maybe by tomorrow afternoon, maybe, if not Wednesday. And Riverfront Drive will be open, should be open by Thursday. So those are two main areas that are still closed. Other than a few streets in Dark Hollow and Dixie, then that'll open up most all of our streets. Scott tells me that now, tonight, we only have 20 residential meters that are still turned off due to the flood, from much more, last week at this time. We only have 20, and they're spread out over Willow Beach, Colonel Maynard, and West 37th Street. The water level today is 22.6, down from almost 30, and by Thursday it should be down to 18. All this information that I'm getting ready to give you is certainly will be on our website and our Facebook page, that people are calling wanting to know where to return our sandbags, and we are asking them to return them where they got them. We had five locations, I think, across the city where we worked sandbags, and we're asking that they bring those back to where they got them, and we will pick them up at that point. We handed out tonight, and this, of course, will also be on Facebook. FEMA is Johnny on the Spot. We're working with them on how to make these phone calls, who to call, how to file for damages, and you can't call them too soon. So go ahead and get in the queue, basically, so that they can come out and talk about what's going on in your particular home. Trash pickup, normal. We're going to try to do normal. I know out in Willow Beach they're already taking damaged furniture and out put them on the street. We're going to pick those up. Have some patience with us because it's going to overload us a little bit, but we will be out there to pick those up. There are some criteria that are a little bit confusing right now, so until FEMA re-explains it to us in a different way, we're picking everything up. Okay? Am I missing anything, Danny?
No, sir, I don't think so.
Ms. Robbins?
When do you want the various communities to start returning the sandbags?
Today?
Today?
Yeah.
Do
Take them back to where they found them. Okay? So like in Dixie, where we made all those sandbags, take them right back there, and then we'll pick them up. Ms. Ross?
I did see one thing that we posted, that in the event that, in a small area, if you have a few sandbags that you are unable to return, not everybody has a truck or able to lift them or whatever, who should they do? I saw one place put them on the curb, but I don't think they weren't even on the curb. Is that correct? Or should they, if you're unable to return them? We don't want them just to throw them away. We know that.
If you're unable to return them, call.
Okay.
Sanitation.
No, I would call the street department. Call Lee Jeffrey. in Dixie?
Yeah.
What do you got, Lee?
Some of the community people are wanting to get some of those sandbags into their yards and areas, low spots, would that be all right?
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, at one time, the answer would have been no. 5 days ago, that answer would have been no. The ADEQ has changed their mind, and they can use that sand personally. Okay? Just dispose of the bags. And I would encourage them to use gloves. Okay? Anybody that touches a sandbag needs to have gloves on. Okay? Any other questions?
So, Mayor, do we anticipate the Dickie Stevens being repaired before the Travs get back in town?
No. All we're going to do, we're in patching mode. All we're going to do the rest of the summer is patch. If we have a sinkhole, we'll have to patch it. It's going to be, we got to figure out what's another way. Whatever we're doing right now is not working. And
So it's a hole, it's going to fill it in right now, put some grass over it.
yeah. Which we did back in 16 or 15, 16. Which is, it's awful, but we're talking about very large amounts of money.
And then just for clarification, Mayor, you said that because again, we know that there were a great number of volunteers out there helping our communities out, bagging sand. They were throwing them, from what I understand and what I've witnessed, on a trailer, and then the trailer would take them down to where they were actually offloaded, and then deployed to protect, residents or business, whatever. So obviously, we're not going to have that, I would imagine, access to those trailers or those volunteers, are probably not going to come out. Hopefully they do, but anyway. So if I'm a resident and I've got, say, 265 sandbags in my backyard, right, and I don't have a trailer to get those back to where I picked them up or where they were made, I guess you could say, we just call the city or the residents will call the city, and do they need to be at least in the front, or will somebody pick them up as they were deployed in a wall in the back, if you will?
I think Patrick said if they could get them to the curb, that
They at least need to get them to the curb.
at least have them at the curb. He said that in one of the meetings.
Yeah, y'all, this is going to be a long process. If we get, yeah, Robert?
I've already been contacted with some of our volunteer groups that will be able to bring trailers to all the houses.
Okay.
Great.
This is going to take a while. If we can get, if all the sandbags are gone by the end of the summer, I'm going to be happy. We had 100,000 sandbags. So if we can get 100,000 sandbags picked up in 90 days, I'm going to be happy. So call us, let us know. If you can't do it, we'd love for you to do it yourself, but if you can't, we'll figure out a way. Okay, on the motion. Oh, we don't have a motion.
Second.
On the motion.
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
And Gann?
Yes,
Thanks to everyone, especially council members, for your patience.
Steve.